Welcome to another Chesterfield Canal restoration update video. It's been just over a month since the last video that I put out. We've come to have a look at what's been going on, and the headline for this video is this big hole that's just appeared underneath the new bridge. So we'll have a look around and we'll explain what's going off down here. It's looking a bit choppy this morning, as choppy as a canal can look. We have had a bit of rain recently. Just take a look at some of these photos posted by Narrowboat Madeline. And this was the scene up at Hollingwood Hub after, what was the recent storm? What was the name? So I sit down on this seat, Gordo. Not got enough hands to do this. So the last video I did, I said I had more questions than I did answers, didn't I? Thanks to George and thanks to Rod for responding to the video and just clarifying a few things. That was really, really helpful. The old railway bridge abutments. Now I said I was hoping that they'd keep those in the plans. They didn't envelop them somehow into the new channel of the canal on the approach to the lock. And that is the plan. They are planning on incorporating those some way into the canal cut there. But it is providing a few headaches, I have been told. Bellhouse Basin narrow. So we showed you the drone footage and we could see the stonework starting to appear as they were moving some of the earth about. The good news is that they are using those, but they're no good in their current position. They're too low, they've sunk too low. Subsidence again, we mentioned that last time. They're going to be raising the level of that grass. So they're basically going to be taking out all the old masonry, all the old stonework and repositioning them. They're going to be storing them, labelling them up and putting them back in as they're meant to be. But obviously in the correct place that's useful for the new modern canal. It was fantastic to hear the news that in 2026, so next year, you'll be able to take Madeline right up to the entrance to those narrows. And you remember in that last video, we had all those shots, those machines and those diggers, those trucks, moving all that earth and spoil over in the direction of the basin just over there. Just as the excavators fire up behind me there. And I said they were just moving the earth. So and we got confirmation that that's what they were doing. They were moving the earth that they excavated on the last phase over to build the land up, over around the Bellhouse Basin complex. Now, I've seen the figure quoted that they're going to have to raise that land by as much as 6 meters in some places. 6 meters, that's quite a difference. So let's catch up on what's been happening since that last video in October. I've been popping through every few weeks. Last time I was here, there was so much standing water, they could actually probably re-water some of the canal with that. But I said that the biggest headline for today is the appearance of this gaping hole, shall we call it. And this is the excavation. This is where the Keith Ayling Lock is going. So this is all start of that work now. So we're seeing the lock taking shape in front of our eyes there. But if we swing around to the other side of the bridge, look, looks a bit muddy down there, doesn't it? I'm walking down there. Yeah, it's still got a lot of water in where the canal channel is, just on the left-hand side. You can see the blue things, look, can't you? Just to the left of the track there. And that's the new Severn Trent water pipes. That's the new main there that they're putting in. And we've been talking about this all the way back to early last summer, haven't we? So I think I said on that last video as well, didn't I? I wasn't sure exactly where that Severn Trent water pipe work was going to be taking place, so that answers our question. It's right there. That pipe's going to be going in to replace some of the old pipe and lowering it as well. All this muck has been excavated, hasn't it, from where they're digging out for the channel there and the lock. But something caught my eye. Just look at the seams of coal that they're hitting here, look. Look at that, huge bits of coal there. I'm assuming it's coal. So there's those bridge abutments over there, look. You see the one at the other side. And that's another view of the excavation work that they've made for the new look. And you can see that they've been doing a cement pouring there. It's really, really interesting. I mean, I've never witnessed the construction of a canal lock before. This is all a new experience, new and exciting experience for me. But they've excavated a large area. Is that just to provide the stability and just shore it up, ready for when they put the main foundations in. I'm guessing it is. I'll show you down there, look, that little area, that's where they moved the earth from. And look, you can see that they've got all the materials there. Looks like that. I'm assuming that's what's going to be lining the sides of the lock chamber, is it? I don't know. Or maybe the area around the lock. And go down this way. I thought that concrete at the bottom of that chamber there, I thought that was freshly poured. It looked very wet, but it's obviously not, because the chap just walked straight across it. Just look at that mud. I think that's about as close as we're going to get to that water main. This is a view down at the basin now. It's difficult standing here today at ground level just to see exactly what's where. It does look like they're still moving quite a large amount of earth around. I don't really need to go any further. It is a bit of a bog down here. That's just onto the puddle bank just there. Some news regarding that. We said last time, didn't we, that the towpath was going to be improved in this phase all the way to Rennieshort. That's now not longer the case. There's been land issues that's caused some delays there. So they're going to be taking the new footpath along the puddle bank, the new improved footpath along the puddle bank as far as milepost 6. That's, if anyone knows it, that's the Norbrigg cutting junction. And they're also going to be making some improvements along the course of the Norbriggs cutting as well. They are building new houses right down, you know, where the that branch terminated. I've had a lot of people tell me, you know, get yourself down there, see if you can have a look around, see if anything remains of the end of the old canal down there, but it's not really anything you can access, and I doubt that there's anything to see. Just walking past, it doesn't really look like there's really anything worth making a video of, if I'm being honest. A word of advice: if you are coming to have a look around here and you want to have a look around the side of the basin and follow the diverted footpath round to the puddle bank, you're going to need wellies or decent shoes. We've not had any rain for a few days, and that is extremely boggy. I think my shoes are about 2 kilograms heavier, thanks to all the mud that's attached to them as well. So don't come down in your best trainers. So I filmed this on Friday, it's now Sunday, and we've had quite a lot of rain in this region over the last few days since we come. Look, that's that is like a swimming pool now. But anyway, look who I bumped into down here.
Hi Paul, how you doing?
Hey, you're not seeing Steve. It's Steve from Caught Above the Cut. You might have noticed his hat.
Somewhere on there, it's probably
That's
not
it.
straight. Yeah.
Let's see that for the sun. Yeah, it's been a year since you were last up.
Yeah, we were down here for the bridge.
For the bridge, it was stood on this very bridge now.
We were some of the first to walk across this, weren't we? It was quite quite a privilege, yeah, when I
Forgot
put it
about
in.
that, yeah. It's like integrated into everyone's lives now.
It is, yeah. It's like it's always been here now, but it's last October.
I walk across it without even giving it a thought now. It's just so normal.
Yeah.
Great.
Big old bit of structure to go in as well, wasn't it? It took a massive crane there where the lock is now, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And lifted it off.
Cold that day as well. So what do you think to the hole then, Steve?
It's impressive. I'll give it that. You don't see many new locks being dug, do you? So it's quite good to see. You can see kind of where they've been a bit health and safety with it, where they've stepped it down rather than just digging like a big hole straight down. So it's not going to be that big once it's done, but yeah, it looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's interesting. So you see a lot of canals on your travels, restorations, etc. You've never seen anything on that scale?
No, so a lot of the stuff I've seen is restoration. So the lock is already there, and then you're kind of replacing the face or your sections of it. So there might be some digging out, but you're not digging down for a completely new structure. So to get that basin that they've got to build here, they've got to angle those sides down just to stop it from caving in on itself and sort of strengthen that lock as it up in place. So this is completely different to what I'm used to.
So here's all your masonry. So we're guessing this is from being dug out from the basin, you know, that we saw when they did the archaeological dig. Maybe the abutments for the middle line that went over just before the bridge. But oh, this looks like it's fresh, look, doesn't it? It's that same colour stone that we could see in the ground. There was like a ready effect to it. So there we are at the start of the Keith Ayling Lock. So what is it now? It's the end of November. I'll get another update out before Christmas, if not sooner, if there's anything major happens down here. And we'll see if we can have a catch up from down Renishore, because a lot of people asking me, well, what's going on with Renishore? When's anything going to start happening there? And it's probably been about 2 months since I last walked through there. I do actually have some news from Renishore, so I'll feature that on the next video in a few weeks. In the meantime, a lot of this restoration work relies on fundraising and dedicated volunteers. The Chesterfield Canal Trust have a big Give Renishore appeal running from the 2nd to the 9th of December. It's a brilliant chance to support the volunteer work party who will be grafting to put the canal back through Renishore. And the best bit, every donation that you make before December the 9th is doubled. And they're hoping to raise £26,700 plus gift aid to keep the restoration moving. Just scan the QR code if you'd like to help. And don't forget to go and have a look at Steve's video on Court Above the Cut. It's no secret that in terms of canals, he's a lot more well-travelled and clued up than me, but that's not difficult, is it? But cheers for watching this one. I hope you found that interesting. It's certainly a key development, I think, in this restoration project. So take care. We'll see you soon. Ta-ra.